Okay, so the people over who run Steam Peak and have done the Peak Monsters Explorer and Marketplace and everything have done amazing work. And I was looking at the new release, which was just released today, and they had some upgrades as far as trends and population counts, and they also included this thing about BCX. Now, this is the measurement of how many cards basically were created in the total BCX, and then you can look at the different cards for what their equivalent is like how many cards was combined to create that one card, which simplifies a lot of the math, which I am very appreciative of. So then I got to talking to Jarvie, and he mentioned that the after I asked that the alpha card group, the cutoff is end of October or 300,000 packs that being sold, and I remember that matched with what Agro had said a week or two ago. So that got me thinking. So if there's 300,000 packs, each pack has 5 cards. 5 times 300,000 is 1.5 million cards. Great. So that's the total potential universe plus a little bit of extra because of the starter packs where you get some cards. Um, but basically 1.5 million is going to be accurate enough for card counting purposes. So what I did was I threw in a spreadsheet as I like to do, and here are the different cards and how many how many cards have been created so far. And the total there are 717,000 or almost 718,000 cards have been created. So we're about halfway through, basically, the potential alpha print. And then, after the alpha is closed, then there'll be a beta, and then who knows how long or how many sets will be created. So, but then I was wondering, what about combining cards? Because a lot of people are combining cards in order to maximize their card deck, and so yeah, I mean it takes 379 common cards to make one level 10 max card. It takes I think it's 84. Is it 84? 86 rares to combine to make a max level card. It takes 32 epics and it takes 8 legendaries. And yes, through the tournaments, through the different battles and everything, experience will go up on the cards. The details on that have not been released. We don't know how fast. We don't know to what degree everything will change. But just kind of baseline, we're dealing with combined cards. Okay, so given the drop rates, which I calculated, from the BCX numbers, and how many cards will be created, and so in the commons, we're looking at somewhere in the neighborhood of 50,000, of each type, and then in the rares, we're looking at 20,000 ish. Oops. And in the epics, we're looking at about 7,500, more or less. And in the legendaries, we're in the 1,500 range. And proportionally 1% of that for the golds. So how many sets can you make? So I did that calculation. I said, well, basically the commons, were somewhere between 120 and 140 sets of completely maxed out cards from combination, and then other numbers for the other rarity types. So I threw it into a table. I made a pivot table here, and basically the blue is the minimum number that I calculated. The red is the maximum number. And you can see that if you want to be a completionist, if you want to create a maximum deck, then your limiting factor is going to be the commons because it takes so many commons in order to make a max level card, but the print rates are not proportional. So the rarest maximum level cards is going to be the commons. The second rarest is going to be the legendaries, and I guess it's in alphabetical order. That's just how this chart came out. And then the rares and epics are going to be somewhere in the same range. So yeah, if you want, if you have like a collector, you got to think, Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, whatever kind of comparison. They're gonna want everything. I want everything. I already have a max deck of everything though, so I'm working on my second set. Um, and there's only going to be so many of them to go around. So that I think is going to be really interesting for how the market evolves once once the game launches and once these print runs of cards are done. So, back when I used to tutor high school kids, and they would ask me, when is math going to be useful? Well, math is useful right here. So it's basic algebra, but I still find it interesting. So, as those cards disappear, and if we look at the market, you can see that, like for the Goblin Shaman, the 24,000 cards were printed so far, but only 11,000 remain because half of those were combined into higher level cards. Um, so, this process is going to whittle down quite a lot, I think, once the game launches and once the uh, people start combining. Because right now, a lot of people are keeping them as level ones in order to make transactions easier, which makes a lot of sense. But once gameplay starts, that's not going to be the case. So I guess the long and the short of it is prices are low. You should buy more now.